steer the economy out of the recession.
Government expenditure cannot continue to expand in an atmosphere, in an environment in which the economy is not growing. And therefore there is an equilibrium that has to be restored. And restoring it after the disequilibrium has become so institutionalized over many years is not easy, but it is something that has to be done.
After the 7.0 magnitude earthquake destroyed the Haitian capital Port-au-Prince on January 12, Jamaica took lead on regional aid efforts. Jamaica's assistance includes military and medical personnel, along with supplies such as generators, water, bedding, food, tents, and medication. The island is also serving as a base of operations for Caribbean aid. Prime Minister Bruce Golding led a high-level delegation to Haiti to get a first-hand view of the damage. A new study on wind and solar energy is to be conducted as the government continues to look for ways to help reduce the country's dependence on oil. The research will be done over the next 3 years under a wind and solar development program at the Wigton Wind Farm in Manchester. The ultimate aim is to see how best to expand the use of wind and solar energy in Jamaica. It's expected to cost just over $1 million. And those were just some of the stories making news here in Jamaica in recent days. Join us next time for the latest news of the week. Now for the important matters tackled by the Ministry of National Security in 2009.
Keeping Jamaicans safe in 2009 was a task that proved challenging for the government. Still, in spite of the threat posed by the guns for drugs trade and the mayhem created by criminal gangs, the administration made inroads in several areas, like getting local policemen trained and certified as crime scene investigators, providing special computer software so the police can create sketches of suspects based on witness descriptions, and a program to reintegrate deportees and ex-convicts back into society. We begin, though, with a look at a couple of key changes in leadership as the administration continued in its mission to find the best fit for a tough job. At the start of the year, Colonel Trevor Macmillan was the man at the helm of the National Security Ministry, but a cabinet reshuffle in April brought a new boss. Senator Dwight Nelson assumed responsibility for the security portfolio just ahead of the Easter holidays. And it was a proverbial baptism of fire. Within 2 weeks, the new security minister had to handle an airplane hijacking in the second city.
At approximately 10:22 last night, a man aged 21 years, armed with a weapon, forced his way through security checkpoints and boarded an aircraft that was bound for Halifax in Canada via Havana, Cuba. The aircraft was expected to transport well over 100 Canadians who had been holidaying in Jamaica.
Under the glare of the international media, the security forces responded swiftly and professionally, and disaster was averted.
Right from the Prime Minister on down, the Jamaican authorities have demonstrated a competency and a professionalism and a rapidity in dealing with events that I think is not just something we're deeply appreciative for, but quite frankly awed by. And it's really been quite a performance for which all of you should be very proud.
There was also a change in the leadership of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Faced with a worsening crime problem and demands for greater results from the administration, Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin called it quits in November.
On the 12th of October, I met with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, Professor Gordon Shirley, and advised him that the Cabinet was deeply concerned about the escalating level of crime, that we did not feel that the strategies being pursued were effectively addressing the problem, and that the Cabinet had lost confidence in the ability of the Commissioner to deliver the results that the country required. On Sunday last, Mr. Speaker, I was advised by the Chairman of the Police Service Commission that the Commissioner had tendered his resignation, which the Commission had accepted.
An acting commissioner, Owen Ellington, was named and a new strategy outlined. Aspects of the new crime strategy outlined by the acting commissioner late in 2009 included a renewed focus on criminal gangs, additional police on the streets, and the active pursuit of corrupt police. At the top of that list of dirty cops, Harry Bungles Daly, a superintendent. With the help of senior members of the force, Daly was prosecuted, found guilty, and sentenced for corruption in December.
As long as I am in charge, I will use every lawful means at my disposal to find those individuals and to get rid of them from the Jamaica Constabulary Force on the ground that they have lost my confidence as Commissioner and they have lost the moral authority to continue serving the public in the office of Constable. We will make no distinction between policemen involved in criminal activities and civilians involved in criminal activities when we go after them. We're going to be very relentless and we're going to be very confrontational in dealing with criminal elements, especially the armed criminal gangs that are threatening security at community level and actually escalating that security challenge to the national level.
In 2009, the JCF also launched 1-800-CORRUPT, an anti-corruption toll-free line. In addition to going after bad apples within the force, the police increased their presence in communities across the country in 2009. There was a 10% increase in operational activities, more raids, mobile patrols, foot patrols, joint patrols with the JDF, spot checks and roadblocks. The police conducted more than 1.5 million vehicle searches and issued over 600,000 traffic tickets. As for guns and bullets, the police seized more than 600 firearms and 8,400 assorted rounds of ammunition. To lend support to their efforts, the ministry provided additional resources. Closed-circuit TV was installed in a number of areas identified by the police as key trouble spots. 140 new vehicles were bought to boost mobility. $1.4 million was set aside to buy radios and accessories for the police as well as soldiers. Another $990,000 was committed to upgrade the JCF's fingerprint ID system. A video identification system was introduced to make ID parades more effective and fair. New computer software was acquired to allow the police to create facial sketches of suspects based on witness descriptions, and $70 million was spent to build a new police station in Bath St. Thomas. There were also important investments in the men and women of the force in the area of training. To improve its members' forensic capabilities, the JCF sent 2 policemen on training. At the end of their course, they became forensic investigators, the first in the Caribbean to get the nod of approval from the US-based International Crime Scene Investigators Association. The force also started a program to retrain and recertify police officers in the use of firearms. Policemen and women were also given refresher courses in driving and vehicle maintenance. Members of the JCF were also taught communication skills and ethics in law enforcement. There was even an important partnership with the government of Italy to provide a seminar on organized crime. In 2009, the Ministry of National Security and the Jamaica Constabulary Force continued to push forward their crime prevention program.
We are facing challenges that will require sacrifices and national unity as we chart our course in an increasingly difficult environment. In order to survive and maintain economic